Are you broke? Do you stare at these YouTubers and go, man, I wish I could invade countries with quippy content? Do you talk to yourself but find it incredibly scary talking just to cover a video, constantly worried that you're going to make a fool of yourself? Then you've come to the right place. Today we're going to be looking at 5 free-to-play grand strategy games that you can play right now. Whether you should is the other question we're going to figure out. Now, we all know there's other ways of getting Paradox and Civ games,
So it would seem.
but we're not here for that today. We're going to look at how easy they are to learn, how fun they are, and how much freedom you get. With that, let's get on with the show.
And what are you supposed to be, a disappointment?
The warning sign here should be the whole, well, little Timmy, it's free to play. You like listening to the Ericas on the YouTubes, right? And you're like,
Free!
but that's when you notice there's a store with up to £168 to get a year's worth of buffs. This is how they get you. The Supremacy series is made up of 4 different games: 1914, 1942, World War III, and the as of yet unreleased Warhammer 40k. For this one, we'll be focusing just on 1914, but the general premise and gimmicks are the same. You've probably seen these advertised all around YouTube. They promise to let you balance the production of materials, troops, and weaponry with rare resources your land has to offer, forge alliances with your competitors, do important trade deals, or fight yourself through the First World War. But how well does it fulfill that? Poorly. The tutorial being a buggy mess aside, Supremacy's maps, to start with, are limited. The 10-player map leaves major players in World War I as unplayable NPC states, except Denmark, for some reason, in scenario teams. What's up with that? The 31-player map, which is the more common one, does make a bulk of more nations playable, but with many colonial states independent, the USA and Russia shattered entirely in non-existent states, it doesn't really make sense, and there's still no playable Bulgaria in a World War I game. They're a major player of the Central Powers, guys. You see the issue. Supremacy's promise to let you fight World War I is already an inaccurate offer, but it gets worse. Supremacy can have single actions take hours and days. Games can last months and run in the background. That's a turn off for some people, but not for me. I like staring at Victoria 2's screen for hours and hours, and I still only play Subpar, so what do I know? But a long-form strategy game that can take place over a longer period of time can be more fun. You get the opportunity to build up your diplomacy with other players, all that sort of stuff. But this doesn't have that. The problem here is that it's a free-to-play game that uses that time as a payment method. We've got microtransactions in here.
We've got to have money.
They proudly boast on their Steam store page to use gold to instantly accelerate your construction and unit mobilization. Let me make that clear. A multiplayer game lets you have the edge in the competition over free-to-play players. This whole game relies exactly on the sorts of people who can't play a proper grand strategy game, whether through a lack of Steam or lack of money or any other way to play the game. Supremacy is available for free on browser and mobile. It preys on that and then encourages people to buy their way to victory. Now, don't get me wrong. There are games like War Thunder that are free and have premium content like vehicles. But War Thunder doesn't also go, let's spawn you directly on a point, or play a 5.0 vehicle at 1.0. Supremacy doesn't care. Supremacy isn't a game of strategy, it's a game of who can dump the most money into the game. When you have a bundle that costs more than Victoria 2's Complete Edition, Europa Universalis IV Starter Edition, Hearts of Iron 4's General Edition, throw in March of the Eagles, throw in its unit packs, and we'll throw in the subscriptions for EU4 and HOI4 for a month on top, and you're still cheaper. What is the point? I'm sorry, if Supremacy slow pace appeals to you, that's great, but for the love of Yuri, play it with friends who won't throw their money at a nation like they're actually laughing as a politician. Fun side tangent. Did you know that Franco was a massive monarchist LARPer? Grand strategy games like this must be a necessary evil to keep people like him glued to a computer screen with my monarchy path, rather than in politics, so go figure. F tier. We're going over to Roblox here to play a game made by one guy who promises 1444 to 1820 riveting gameplay. See you for but Roblox. Get ready for a lot more Roblox here, because it's a pretty popular for grand strategy. And most games are free here, so there's a better benefit in that way. Better than Supremacy, right, let's go have a look. Now, not going to be too harsh on this guy. It's a one-man team, and who, unlike the Megacorp mentioned previously, cough cough, he only take donations. You're not getting any unfair buffs here. The game does rely on other players for a true engagement, but the AI will fight back at least, and the dev is still working on adding more interactions there. The bulk of North America is included. but we're missing most of Asia and South America and Africa and Oceania you can forget about. Again, it's all stuff they're working on, so I won't be too harsh there, but I am considering the game in its current state. Secondly, there's no proper tutorial built into the game, and I think that's something it could build on pretty easily. After all, the AI currently doesn't go crazy on its own, and you can create a private server to practice, but I think a little more clearance is needed. People shouldn't have to join the Discord to learn how to play a game, especially when Discord is notoriously not designed well as a wiki, website, or forum. Otherwise, it seems pretty popular. I jumped into a few of the larger matches to see what the state of the game was like, and it seems people enjoy it. All in all, I can't fault the game for what it is, and it's clearly got a fan base to it. If you want to try a grand strategy that has a lot of love thrown into it, definitely check this one out. C tier.
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave!
Does risk really count? It's more of a sandbox than anything else, but what a sandbox it is. You have complete, utter creative control here in a private server. Making your own custom maps is super easy, the way to use a dice to roll for damage is intuitive, the unit maker is simple but effective, and the nation builder gives you so much control. You can literally create whole history lore, update your current leader, and make political parties. It's your creativity that binds you. However, this is also its biggest weakness. There's no AI here, so you need other players to play. If you're all in Europe in 1444, good luck in seeing any change outside of it. Public servers have notorious issues, and, as with many free hot-join games, people can come in and very easily erase whatever law you've worked painlessly on to build. Wanted to keep Peter III around and reform Russia's politics and do that over a course of a few decades? Hours worth of gameplay? Great. One person's objected, some moderators arbitrated in and sided with them. Boom, hours wasted. You'll also have to be prepared for the fact that for public servers, World War I, World War II, and post-apocalyptic are the most popular game modes. Lastly, the paid content for this is mostly cosmetic bar the restore tool, which while designed for anti-group could easily be just as problematic if misused. Overall, if you want to use it for map designing, do that. If you want to use it for a game, host it privately and have someone with a history degree act as lawkeeper and manage the NPC nations. And if that sounds like a lot of work, that's because it is. D tier. Oh hey, this one has a built-in tutorial that gives you the basics on how to play. Neat. This is very much a modern day simulator that again relies on multiplayer to be a useful game, though the AI nations will defend themselves and the 50-player matches can be quite intense. That's kind of the downside too. The matches get hot real quick, so it's definitely the sort of multiplayer game that takes time to master. However, the development team are pretty active and the system's intuitive enough, again helped by a decent tutorial. There's custom games that are free to play if open, but cost 50 Robux to maintain if hosting. These mean that you can, in theory, play in any era. Whilst formable titles and skins will not be granted even if achieved in said eras, the sheer amount of creativity and relatively easy hosting is pretty neat, but like most things, they probably have their own rules if you join someone else's. There's not much else to say here, to be honest. It's like if you condensed Territorial.io into an actually somewhat fun game and gave it depth. B tier. Do I even need to justify this one? It's an actual Paradox game for free. Sure, the DLCs would have been nice, but you get so many options here. If you want to dip your toes into a grand strategy game but like the funds, this is the one. Hell, if your friends have the DLC and you play together, if they're hosting, you can use them too. So why are you still here? Go and grab it, go! A tier. God, the bulk of this video really has just been a rant about Supremacy's predatory tactics towards gaming, huh? Anyway, we all know Territorial.io is the best because there's literally no strategy to it, and I can do this instant S tier. Okay, thanks, bye!